And welcome to this episode of the Kirk Hudlin podcast, where I'm going to be doing a bit of a preview to the 2026. One second here. Okay, that actually sounds a lot better. To the 2026 Blue Jays regular season team. Now, the roster isn't fully complete, so I'm just going off by what Fangraphs says the roster is going to be. Don't take my word for it. There's still two spots that need to be decided. It's the last bench spot between Eloy Jimenez and Davis Snyder. And then it's the last bullpen spot between Spencer Miles and another guy. But this is what Fangraphs has, so we're just going to go by Fangraphs and what I think and what they think the lineup's going to be 1 through 9. Let's start out. Lead off for the Blue Jays, George Springer. Obviously, you lost. They didn't really have a leadoff guy until they had one in George Springer. Then they took him out of the leadoff spot, and then they put him back into the leadoff spot. The playoffs, he did fantastic. So obviously, you go back to George Springer. He's not going to be playing as much outfield. He'll be the primary DH. Obviously, giving like time off to like Vadi or Okamoto. Yeah, there's a lot of interchangeable parts. But start here. It's going to be Springer DH batting leadoff. Number two, batting batting the second slot, center fielder Dalton Varsho. He has changed his approach at the plate, which it's been needed. He is a guy that has a lot of power, but the problem is that he likes to swing a lot. He's a free swinger. And because of that, they're projecting his strikeout rate to be 25.6%, which is pretty high. But with the power that he has and very good with the glove, that should work out well. But number three hole will be Vladimir Guerrero Jr. That's pretty easy enough. He's your main bat. Great all-round hitter. I'd like to see the power numbers climb up a little bit, but from what we saw at the World Baseball Classic, he's and at really the whole playoffs last year, he's ready to go. He is absolutely ready to go, and I feel like he'll have a huge step up in every category. If it wasn't for Aaron Judge, he would probably go for AL MVP. But it's Aaron Judge, and he'll always be like the prime AL MVP candidate. I wouldn't be surprised if Vladimir Guerrero this year, the way that he's been playing lately, he should get some MVP votes this year. Batting number four, a guy who is going to have to me, a huge breakout season. I'm thinking like 30 homers. They have him in right field. He can play right field. He can play third base. Addison Barger. Addison Barger is a guy that looks like he's a made power hitter. He swings the bat so well, and he's very patient, which a lot of these Blue Jays hitters are patient, except Dalton Varsho, but we'll see if he changed that. But Addison Barger, I have a feeling he will probably break out for 30 to 35 homers this year. It's just the power that he has in that bat when he connects on one is insane. And also, very underrated defensively. Unbelievable arm. An unbelievable arm, and we saw that in the playoffs. Uh, the number 5 hitter, according to Fangraphs, is going to be catcher Alejandro Kirk. He's a good contact hitter. We all know he's one of the best catchers in the league. When it comes to defensively, he's a very good contact hitter when he gets contact, but he's obviously slow. Um, Obviously this is not going to be total totally him, but I'd like to see a guy like Tyler Heineman get maybe a little bit more playing time. A little bit more. I mean, Alejandro Kirk's going to be a starting catcher. That's for sure. But Tyler Heineman, I'd like to see a little bit more because he was actually really good last year when Alejandro Kirk was hurt or was given days off. He was really good. I'd like to see more of Tyler Heineman. Next up, it'll be probably Platoon, but they on Fangraphs they have Jesus Sanchez as a primary left fielder. It's going to be a platoon between him and uh, probably a couple of guys here like Davis Snyder and Nathan Lucas and Robert Mastraw. There's going to be a platoon of the outfielders, and it's just going to be different day by day. They will probably want to try and keep Addison Barger in the lineup and Dalton Varsho as much as you can in the lineup. It's very much a platoon in the outfield, but they primarily have Jesus Sanchez, very good against lefties, but against righties, not so good. That's why you have kind of like the platoon of like him and Nathan Lucas and Davis Snyder and Miles Straw. Well, Davis Snyder is good against lefties as well, but you have that platoon. You're gonna have that platoon at that spot. Third base, new guy from Japan, Kasuma Okamoto. Um, haven't haven't really read up much about him. Apparently, he can also play first base, so that will also give Vottie some time off on at first base, which will be nice. But he's a very apparently really good defensively at third base. We actually have seen it, and he's got a lot of power. He's I think hit like 30 to 35 homers in Japan a few times in his career. Probably at least like 20 homers in a year. Still a lot of power. Very good defensively. We'll see how that can translate to MLB because there's been a lot of times where you go sign Japanese guys and they don't turn out as well as you expected it to be. There's been a few. There's been a lot of examples of some Japanese hitters that just can't adapt to the American game. Let's hope that Okamoto, especially in the deal that we got him for, a lot of people, a lot of the teams were very cautious when it came to signing the Japanese free agents this year. Like Japanese free agents want a lot of money, but teams were kind of like, if we do and you suck, it's gonna hurt us pretty badly. So they were very patient on that. Yeah, I still got that Reeves picture, but couldn't care too much about that because there's 11 games left, and I'll be very happy when that season is over. Next we have the second baseman Ernie Clement again. Uh, Unbelievable contact hitter, set the playoffs record for most hits in a postseason. But he can obviously a lot of this team has a lot of interchangeable parts, which makes it very good. It allows guys to have days off, especially in the infield. Can play short, can play second, can play third. It allows guys to have days off, which I think that's one key thing that you have to have on this team. And at shortstop, batting ninth, Andres Jimenez. He's unbelievable at shortstop, and he was robbed last year of a Gold Glove. The Gold Glove is a glove meant for the best defensive player in at your position in the league. It did not go to that last year because Andres Jimenez was by far and away the best second baseman. He was considered a second baseman until Bo Bichette got hurt. Now he's a shortstop. But Andres Jimenez at second base last year was incredible defensively. But he didn't win the Gold Glove. Same as Alejandro Kirk. Alejandro Kirk was the best defensive catcher in the American League last year. And it did not go to him. It went to a Detroit Tiger who, in all the stats, was not even close. The best catcher in all baseball last year defensively was Patrick Bailey, and it was not even close. Second behind him, and it was not even close then, was Alejandro Kirk. The two best defensive catchers in baseball were Alejandro Kirk and Patrick Bailey. One of them didn't get Gold Glove last year. Make that make sense. And yet the Blue Jays won the defensive Gold Glove in the AL as a team. And only one of them, who's not even on the team, got a Gold Glove. And that was Ty France. Now, Ty France was actually better defensively than Vlad Guerrero Jr., but Jimenez should have won one. Kirk should have won one. It's just like, what? Who the hell? Like, some of the things is defensive metrics, but it just seemed like they went, let's go with Marcus Semien. We go, what? Andres Jimenez was like the best defensive second baseman last year. Over Marcus Semien. Semien's good. But Andres Jimenez was way better than Marcus Semien defensively. Anyways, enough about that tangent. There's a lot of interchangeable parts, but that is the projected lineup. On the bench, catcher Tyler Heineman, backup catcher, was very good last year when he had to step in when Kirk was injured. He wanted to improve offensively, and he did. He was great offensively as a catcher. Defensively as a catcher, he's also pretty good too. They have Davis Snyder on the bench. Again, like most of this lineup, very interchangeable. Davis Snyder can play second. He can play third. He could actually play a little bit of first. He can play the outfield. He can play everywhere, anywhere to give guys a night off, like a day off or two. Outfielder Nathan Lucas, again, just like I said before, a lot of this outfield can be interchangeable parts. You can put guys in, take guys out. Like, in the outfield, there's no true, there's no true bell. Like, in football, there's a very few bell, big carry, running backs. That's why I kind of consider it as, the main guy in your outfield. And the main guy in the outfield might be Dalton Varsho most of the time. Other than that, it's not going to be like that. Like, you have Jesus Sanchez, who's probably going to be playing against lefties, and so is Davis Snyder. Nathan Lucas can play both. Aston Barger, they probably want to try and keep him in the lineup as much as they can to show off his power. There's a lot of interchangeable parts. And the last guy, Miles Straw, very good defensive outfielder, got speed. His bat is alright, but could be better. But of course, again, just a lot of interchangeable parts. You can switch guys in and out. That's the great thing about this Blue Jays lineup, is that there's a lot of interchangeable parts. You can switch guys out. You can give guys days off. It'll be good. Now the starting pitching has a few injuries. Like right now, there's Jose Barrios, who's hurt, who's on the IL. Shane Bieber's on the IL. Trey Savage is starting on the IL. But this is what the starting rotation has been officially announced as. Gausman's your day one starter. That's the right choice. He's been incredible. Number 2 will be Dylan Cease, your big acquisition, your big free agent acquisition. It's a right move. He actually looked very good. He's starting to throw the changeup a little bit more. He changed his changeup, and he's starting to throw, and he's going to start throwing that a little bit more. Last year, I think he rarely threw a changeup, but he wants to try and do that more to complement his very, very hard fastball. Number three will be Eric Lauer. A lot of people were very not skeptical, but a lot of people were like, okay, they're gonna stretch out Eric Lauer as a starter again, and which is great because yeah, we need him. But a lot of people weren't expecting him to be a starter; they were expecting him to be in the bullpen. But because of the injuries, he's gonna be the number three guy. He's was actually like incredible stepping in as a starter for us. I had him for a couple about a month in fantasy baseball, and he was really good. So it's going to be nice to see him. It's going to be nice to see him again as a starter next year. Next is Cody Ponce. Came in from KBO. Was a former draft pick of the Pittsburgh Pirates, I believe. No, Milwaukee Brewers in 2015, but played most of his career with the Pirates. StatGraphs have him at 4 ERA. He's 30. He'll be 32 by the end of this year. But he's the reigning KBO MVP, especially with his stats. And in 13 and the third innings, he had an ERA of .66. So, and he's also has a fastball of about 94, 95 miles per hour, which is actually a huge improvement from where he was before he left for Korea, which was, I believe, like 89, 90 miles per hour fastball. So he's obviously improved his fastball. He's improved on a few other pitchers. But the reigning KBO MVP looks to cash in. And he did with Toronto. And he's very happy to be in Toronto, getting this opportunity. And the last guy, who everybody thought that will probably be back with the team, is Max Scherzer. He's gonna be our number 5 starter. He's gonna be that. I guess we don't really have like young guys in our rotation. No, we don't really. Our youngest guy is Dylan Cease, who's 30. But he's honestly he was he was good when he started. Um, he's He's that veteran. He's that old man that you want on your team, almost like what the Dodgers had and like Clayton Kershaw. Just the old guy you want on your team, just to bring the vibes and whatnot, like bring some of the seriousness. And he's that guy. He's a fantastic guy to have around when he's not serious. When he is serious, just gotta stay away from him and just let him be him. Okay, so our bullpen we have as our relievers Spencer and Miles. Now it's a battle between Miles and I can't remember who the other guy is, but they have Miles making it. Mason Fuhardy, another actually he's a young guy. Mason Fuhardy's 24. Oh, he's the youngest guy in our bullpen. Mason Fuhardy was pretty good after the All Star break. He was really good after the All Star break, and he's a lefty. Next is Tommy Nance, old man in the bullpen, 35 years of age. He was good in his appearances. He was actually really good at a point. He was probably our best bullpen guy at one point. But of course, sometimes those numbers you can't sustain them all year round in the bullpen. Uh, Braden Fisher returns. He's 25 years of age. He was good. I always thought he looked like he was falling off the mound most of the time when he pitched. Like just the way that he positioned himself in the pitching on the pitching mound, he looked like he was just falling off the mound. Then we have Brendan Riddle. Brendan Riddle has changed some of his repertoire in his pitchers, which is a good thing because he was exploited very easily by a lot of teams. A lot of teams exploited him a lot, and now he's changed up, and he's looked very good in He looked very good in spring training. We'll see how that goes. And then we get to the back end of our bullpen. Louis Varland, a hard throwing right-handed pitcher, 28 years of age. He was up and down after we got him from Minnesota. He's looking for a bounce back year. He could, if the Blue Jays get to a point, they could, if they want to, stretch him out as a starter. Now, this is a bit of a conspiracy that could happen if it gets to that point, that they could stretch him out into a starter. But right now, that's not their plan. They want him in the back end of the bullpen as one of the setup guys. The other guy that they have who could compete if if the other guy doesn't do so well, Tyler Rogers and his funky delivery. It's the lowest throw point in all baseball, but it's disgusting. He's a submarine thrower, and yes, he is 35 years of age, but he is a disgusting thrower, and he has closer experience. So if you have, I'm gonna say it now, our closer still Jeff Hoffman, but if he starts to not pitch so well, Tyler Rogers can come in and be the closer at that point. Currently, our injured guys are Anthony Santander. That contract is looking like a complete albatross. Like, it almost seems like you need to get rid of him. But you can't because he's a lot of money trying to get off the books. Like I said, our starting pitchers, we have three of them: Jose Barrios, Shane Bieber, Trey Savage. Now that's going to make up for a very clogged bullpen once all of them come back. Well, very clogged up starting pitching. I wouldn't be surprised if you maybe see. I wouldn't be actually surprised if you see Trey Savage start off in AAA. Because we have enough starting pitching that you can push him to AAA, and also you get one more year on his contract if you do that. And also help out his pitching. He pitched a lot in a very short time span, and you want to try and save that arm. But another guy, Bowden Francis, he had Tommy John surgery. He will not be back this year. Probably even next year. At some point, he'll be back next year. And another guy is Yimi Garcia. Haven't heard too much about Jimmy Garcia. 35 years of age. He'd be a nice guy to have in our bullpen, but I haven't heard. Just give me 1 second here. Yimi Garcia injury. Okay, so he is. Okay, so they're saying that with hopes to return early in the season, he had surgery in late 2025 to clean up scar tissue in his right elbow, an injury that ended his previous season. While he is falling off the mound as of March 2026, he will start the season on the injured list with hopes to return early in the season. He would be a great add to that bullpen. But obviously, you kind of want to be careful with him, obviously. In 22 appearances last year, the 3.86 ERA. He was actually really good for the Blue Jays before he got injured. But we'll see how all that goes. That is the roster that Fangraphs has. It's probably the correct roster that they're probably going to pull out. Now, there's one guy that you should keep your eye on coming up, and that is Eloy Jimenez. He had a fantastic spring training, but he's going to start off in probably in the minors unless he declines that and goes to another team that will give him a chance. The reason why he's not going to make the team is that he doesn't really provide the flexibility that they're looking for, like defensive flexibility. He's not a great outfielder. Actually, he's not a good outfielder. He's a good DH, but they're looking for flexibility at every position. And Davis Snyder, it was between Davis Snyder and Eloy Jimenez. More than likely, it's going to be Davis Snyder. If it's Eloy Jimenez, then that's not good because then you have one guy who's purely just a power guy on your bench. Now, sometimes that's not bad to have, but you want to have flexibility. And Davis Snyder brings more flexibility to the lineup than Eloy Jimenez because Eloy Jimenez can't play the outfield. He's a DH guy. And you already have enough guys who will play DH throughout the year. John Snyder says that there's not really one true DH guy. He says that lineup is like a flexible. He says it's a offensive, almost like an offensive batter, offensive substitute, really, because it really allows him to put guys that need days off their feet, like not playing defensively, and allows him to. He wants to keep him in the lineup, but he doesn't want him to play defensively, so allow him to do that. So that's why Eloy's not going to make this team, in my opinion. Like there's still a way that he'll make the team, but he'll be a guy that will probably get called up at some point if there's like injuries or something like that. But we'll see how this season hasn't officially started yet. That's on Thursday or Friday. Yeah, sometime this week. But that is Fangraph's official lineup. That's what they have as a lineup. I think it's the right lineup. But comment down below on who do you think should be on, who should or shouldn't be in that starting lineup, bullpen, rotation, everything there. Also, message me at any point on my YouTube. On my YouTube channel, you can find all my links in the description. Message me. The weather's starting to get really good. I'm looking for anybody to join the podcast, like as a guest host, one episode, like 1 or 2 episodes. It's starting to get nicer up here. Last thing I'm gonna say is, I will be coming back to Milton. It's very soon. This will be my last visit for a while until it gets back to winter again. Because winters up here are shit. And summers are nice, so come up here. And whenever you get a chance, come up here. Summers are apparently beautiful up here. And I can't wait for the summer. Because this fucking winter is pretty bad. Anyways, like, comment, subscribe, follow, all the good stuff. And we will see you in the next episode of the Kirk Hardiman Podcast. I am Kirk Hardiman, but you already know that. And goodbye.